Hi, I'm Mohamed Moyed. I'm studying at University of Human Development, Department Computer Science. I will talk about machine learning. What is machine learning? The subfield of computer science that gives computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Is the study of computer algorithm that's improved automatically. It is seen as subset of artificial intelligence. It involves computer learning from data provided so that they carry out certain tasks. For simple tasks assigned to computer, it's possible to program algorithm telling the machine how to execute all steps required to solve the problem at hand on the computer parts. Using data is using training. For answer questions, we use predicting. Big data era. It's split into three parts: data, devices, and service. Data already available everywhere, low storage costs, and everyone has several GPS for free. Hardware more powerful and cheaper than ever before. Devices: anyone has a computer fully packaged with sensor, GPS, camera, and microphones, permanently connected to the internet. Services: cloud computing, online storage, and infrastructure as a service. Types of learning in machine learning. Learning problems. First, we will take a closer look at three main types of learning problems in machine learning: the supervised and unsupervised and reinforcement learning. Supervised learning. Describe a class of problems that involves using a model to learn a mapping between input example and target variable. Models are fit on training data, compressed of input and output, and it used to make predictions on test set where only the inputs are provided and outputs from the model. There are two main types of supervised learning problems: classification and regression. Classification is supervised learning problem that involves prediction a class label. Regression, supervised learning problem that involves prediction of numeric label. Supervised learning examples. An example of classification problem would be the MNIST handwriting digits datasets, where the input are images of handwriting digits, pixel data, and the output of class label or what digit the image represent numbers from 0 to 9. And an example for regression problem would be the Boston house price dataset, where input are variables that describe an airport and the output is a house price in dollars. Unsupervised learning. Describe a class of problems that involves using a model to describe or extract relationship in data. In unsupervised learning, there is no instructor or teacher, and the algorithm must learn to make sense of data without these guides. Mastering it's unsupervised learning, the problem that involves finding groups in data. Density estimation, unsupervised learning problem that involves summarizing the distribution of data. The visualization is unsupervised learning problem that involves the creation pools of data. Projection, unsupervised learning problem that involves a creation lower dimensional presented of data. Reinforcement learning. Describe a class of problems where an agent operates in an environment and must learn to operate using feedback. Reinforcement learning is learning what to do, how map situation to action, as to maximize a numeric reward signals. The learner is not told which action to take, but instead must discover which action yield the most reward by trying them. The use of environment means that there is no fixed training data set, rather a goal or set of goals that an agent is required to achieve. Action they may be perform and feedback about performance towards the goal. Classification. The classification problem is when the output variable is a category such as red or blue or desire and no desire. Attempt to draw some conclusion from observed value. Giving one or more inputs, a classification model will try to predict the value of one or more outcomes. Here we have the classification. Like we have two emails of spams. This email is a spam email, and this email is a spam email, and we have normal email. The classifier will take all of them and will split them into two groups: the inbox one and the spam folders. Regression problem is when the output variable is real or continuous values, such as salary or weight. Many different models can be used. The simplest is the linear regression. It tries to fit data when the best hyperplane which goes through the points. Classification versus regression. Basics. Mapping function is used of mapping of values to predefined classes. In regression, the mapping function is used for mapping of values to continuous outputs. Rules of prediction. In classification, decreased values. In regression, continuous values. Nature of prediction. In classification, unorders, and in regression, order. Method of calculation. By measuring accuracy. In regression, by measurement of root mean square error. Example algorithm: decision tree, logistic regression, regression tree, random forest, and linear regression. Predict age of a person is an example for regression. Predicting a house price based on area, it's an example for regression. And predicting the number of copies a music album will be sold next month, it's a regression. For classification, predicting nationality of a person or predicting whether stock price of a company will increase tomorrow, predicting the predicting the gender of a person by his or her handwriting style, and the last one is predicting whether monsoon will be normal next year. Clustering application, marketing, biology, libraries, and insurance, and city planning and earthshake studies. Marketing, it can be used to characterize, discover customer segment for marketing purposes. Biology, it can be used for classification among different species of plants and animals. Libraries, it's used in clustering different books on the basic of the topics and information. Insurance, it is used to acknowledge the customer, their policies, and identifying the frauds. City planning, it is used to make groups of houses and study their values based on their geography, location, and other factors presented. Earthshake studies, by learning the earthshake affected areas, we can determine the dangerous zones. Thanks for listening.